Students, and of course I use the term jocularly, please open your textbooks to page 208. Today we are going to take up the works of Robert Browning. Mr. Krebs.
Present.
Can you tell us who Robert Browning was? And I withdraw the question.
Well, I got a big surprise for you, Mr. Pomfret, your professorship, sir. It just so happens I do know who Robert Browning was.
Yes, Mr. Krebs, that would be a big surprise for me. All right, who, pray, was Robert Browning?
Well, sir, he was this guy who lived in the corner of 9th and Locust. Big son of a gun, kind of bald head, and always smoked a big cigar.
No, Mr. Krebs, that was not Robert Browning.
Oh, begging your pardon, your cap and gownship, that was too Robert Browning. I knew him good. I mean, every night when I walked by his house, he'd be sitting there on his porch rocking, and I'd say, "How do, Mr. Browning?" He'd say, "How do, Maynard?" We were like buddies.
Hey, Maynard.
In fact, he's kind of like my hero. He was a crane operator, see? He used to run this big crane with this long wire and a stainless steel ball at the end. What he'd do is he'd knock down old buildings. He'd take the big stainless steel ball and
Could you tell us something about Robert Browning?
Robert who?
Browning, the poet.
Poetry. Ugh, I think poetry's just icky.
Indeed. And what is not icky?
Oh, dreamy boys with yellow convertibles that dance divinely and wear Italian suits. And no funny little French restaurants where they let you mix your own salad dressing.
Thank you, Miss Jordan. May your life be filled with oil and vinegar. Miss Gilroy, could you please tell us something about Robert Browning?
Sure could. Robert Browning was born in 1812, died in 1889, and wrote what is largely considered to be the most robust dramatic poetry in English since Shakespeare.
Excellent, Miss Gilroy, as usual. 100% correct.
You hear that, Dobie? Smart as a whip, pretty as a picture, strong as a mule, gentle as a lamb, loyal as a dog, and all yours. Who could ask for anything more?
I could. In fact, I am.
Now, let me get this straight. Are you talking about her?
Why not?
She's rich, beautiful, popular, the belle of the whole campus. She doesn't want you.
How do you know?
I'll show you. Hey, Poppy. You want Dobie?
Good heavens, whatever for?
Rest my case.
Please do rest your case, Miss Gilroy. Now, I yield to no man in my admiration for romance. If romance is the proper word for this curious, lingering affliction between you and Mr. Gillis. But right now, I would like to read some typical verse of Robert Browning's.
Sure, Mr. Pomfret, go ahead.
You're very kind. Ah, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Mr. Gillis, can you tell us what those lines mean?
Well, I think they mean that if a guy really wants something, I mean, really and truly, he should go after it even if it seems impossible to get.
You astonish me, Mr. Gillis, and pleasantly. That is precisely what Robert Browning is saying.
Like, for instance, if there was a girl who was gorgeous and beautiful and popular and desirable and the belle of the whole campus, and there was a guy who was just an average, typical American boy, why, he shouldn't say, "I'm licked, I'll never get her." He should try with all his might to win her, even if it means dumping another girl who's not so gorgeous and beautiful and popular and desirable.
Now, just a minute. This other girl may not be a beauty winner, but she's a human person with feelings and dignity. And if this guy thinks he can come running back to her anytime he strikes out elsewhere, well, she's got news for him. The next time he walks out will be the last time.
You'll forgive me, but weren't we talking about Robert Browning?
We still are. And this girl is serving notice right now that a certain guy's reach better not exceed his grasp, or he's going to end up with a big fat zero all around.
But, Mr. Pomfret, isn't that Browning's point? I mean, even if you're going to go down to utter, total, complete ruin, you've got to try to get what you really want. You've got to reach beyond your grasp. True?
Well, yes, it's true, but...
Thank you. Poppy, my great tawny animal. Would you come with me tonight to a funny little place I know where they let you mix your own salad dressing?
Oh, I don't know. Call me.
All right, Dobie, I warned you.
I have nothing against Zelda, you understand. She's a fine girl with a giant IQ and a big heart and not a single cavity in her whole mouth. I like her. I respect her. I admire her. But love her? No, no. Who I love is Poppy Jordan, because like Robert Browning says, a man's reach should exceed his grasp. I'm going to get Poppy. It'll take perseverance, patience, ingenuity, and most of all,
money?
Yes, Dad, I'm taking some money.
Why?
Because a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
Well, you keep reaching like that, and you will be grasping with a handful of sharp fingers.
Dad, I'll put in my IOU. I'll work it off.
Shame on you, Herbert. You think the boy's a thief? Why, he never stole anything in his life.
Oh, perish the thought, but you must admit he has made a lot of unsecured loans.
Dad, listen to me. Robert Browning
Robert
said-
Browning? Oh, you mean the guy who runs the crane with the big iron ball on it?
Yeah,
knocks
that's
down buildings?
friends.
Oh, yeah, well, you can see how a fella could get confused.
Yeah.
Robert Browning was a famous poet. He wrote... Well, anyhow, he was very famous.
Oh, that Robert Browning, huh? Where did you run into him, son?
No, Dad, he's dead.
Oh, sorry to hear that. He left the widow well fixed up.
Herbert, will you let the boy say what he's going to?
So who's stopping now?
Thanks. Well, Robert Browning, the English poet, said, a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Now, that means,
How beautiful.
now, that means if you find...
I know what
Please.
it means. It means if you've got a hankering for something big and wonderful and way out of your reach, you should go out and try to get it, no matter what your good sense tells you.
That's right.
That's wrong. A man's reach should be just as long as his arm. Don't reach for anything you can't grab. Know your limitation. Learn to live with it. I did.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, Winnie, now just a minute. Remember, Winnie, I didn't mean that. You were a fine woman and a great wife and a wonderful mother, and you keep a clean house and you cook a good meal and...
Look, Mom, Dad, I'm proud of you, both of you. Really, I am, but frankly, I'd like something better. Got me doing it. But what I mean is, well, I hope I'm as lucky as you two are, but, well, like Robert Browning said, a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
You know, I am going to speak to the Bison Educational League about this guy, Browning. He sounds like some kind of a communist to me.
Herbert, let the boy try to exceed his grasp. He's young, and if he gets his nose bloodied, well, I guess he'll recover.
You're right, Winnie. Let him go out and get clobbered. After all, Zelda will always be waiting there whenever he comes back. Right, son?
I don't know, Dad. She said if I tried it once more, she was through with me.
Big talk. That's what your mother said to me when I went chasing off after Cuddles Kindermacher. But there she was, light in the window, waiting, all lit up. Here, take your money and get out of here, will you? This is a place of business. I can't stand around yakking all day.
Like I do, buddy.
Goodbye, Maynard.
What you doing?
Writing. Goodbye, Maynard.
What? What you writing?
You're not going to go, are you?
What you writing?
Well, Maynard, I guess you could call it a plan of battle.
Hey, Wild, who you gonna do battle with?
Poppy Jordan.
Oh, I don't know, Dobe. I mean, you're giving away a lot of weight. Still, if you stay in there close and give her a good old... Here, give her the... Whole shots.
Maynard, look. Maynard, I'm not going to fight Poppy. Not that way. My battle's going to be to win her heart and soul. And I will, Maynard, I will. Tonight, Poppy will be mine.
Yeah, and tomorrow you're gonna come crawling back to Zelda.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. You're right, Maynard. Who am I kidding? Poppy's way out of my reach. I just better play it cozy and hang on to what I've got.
Good thinking.
Bad thinking.
Hello, Mr. Pomfret.
Like how your PhD ship.
Play it cozy. Hang on to what you've got. Dobie, don't you ever listen to the things I say in class?
Yes, sir.
I don't.
Now, Dobie, even a memory as fleeting as yours must be able to recall what I quoted from Robert Browning this morning.
Yes, sir, I remember. A man's reach should exceed his grasp.
Exactly. Now, does that sound like playing it cozy?
Then you think Robert Browning was right about a man's reach?
Of course he was. Now, whatever you want, Dobie, no matter how unattainable it may seem, you've got to try to get it. If I haven't taught you one other thing in all the years I've had you as a student, and the odds are rather strongly in favor of that possibility, then I will still consider my job as a teacher fulfilled if I can just bring home this one point to you. Don't play it safe. Don't play it cozy. Let your reach exceed your grasp.
I'll do it, Mr. Pomfret. I'll do it.
Good boy, Dobie. And if you fail...
Which he will.
If you fail, Dobie, just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, your cap and gown ship.
Now, Maynard, I better get ready for the big night with Poppy.
Dobe, don't.
Don't what?
Don't go out with Poppy Jordan tonight, because you're gonna strike out and Zelda ain't gonna take you back.
Maynard, in the first place, I am not going to strike out. I am going to win because a man's reach should exceed his grasp. And in the second place, even if I do strike out, which I am not going to, Zelda will take me back.
But she said
She said that before.
Not the way she said it this time. Did you see how beady her beady little eyes were? Did you see how tight her tight little mouth was? Did you see how round her round little chin was?
Maynard, you're a world.
All right, Dope, go ahead. Do what you want. There are none so blind as those who will not see.
Where'd you get that?
On a little card from a weighing machine.
Goodbye, Maynard.
Go ahead, Dope, go ahead. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Fortune cookie.
Ah, here we are, my dear. A funny little French restaurant that hardly anybody knows about.
French restaurant. It's a malt shop.
Only to those who aren't in love. Tonight, my dear, we create our own Paris.
Oh, brother.
Okay, Kenny, they're here.
Geez, Zelda, I don't know if I should. He gave me a $5 to do a French accent.
Come on, a deal's a deal. I did your homework, didn't I?
Well, okay.
An enchanting little bistro, huh, my love?
Let's hurry and eat so I can get home, hmm?
Home, my jewel. But the night is so young and you are so ravishing.
Order, hey?
Of course, my own. Garçon?
Oui, monsieur?
I'd like to order a gourmet dinner for two.
Gourmet dinner for two. Oui, monsieur.
What is the specialité of the house?
Frozen pizza.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Perhaps, monsieur. Have you ever been in Paris?
Paris, France?
Oui.
No.
Come on, I have to get home, Dopey.
Yeah, that's Dobie with a B. 2 frozen pizzas and a tossed green salad. I'll mix the dressing myself.
Enchanté, monsieur.
You sure I don't know you?
Have you ever been in Marseille?
Marseille, France?
Oui. Come on already.
That'll be all, garçon.
Mille merci fois, monsieur.
Well, my dear, what shall we do this glorious evening?
We shall finish our dinner and we shall take me home.
Home? But I made such plans. The opera, perhaps.
Opera? All those fat people singing at each other?
The ballet?
All those girls with bulgy legs?
The movies?
Home.
But why must you be home so early?
Because.
Because why?
Just because.
I understand. You're teasing me, my little minx.
I tease you not. It's Chow and Holmesville.
Voilà, le dîner. I understand monsieur wishes to mix his salad dressing himself.
You're absolutely sure we've never met before?
Have you ever been near Alsace-Lorraine?
No, but I've been near Zelda Gilroy. Zelda, shame on you.
Yes, that's right, Dobie. Shame on me. But this is the last time. The last time there'll be shame on me.
Zelda, how can you spy on me like this?
A woman in love can do a lot of things. But finally there comes a point when she just can't do anymore. Goodbye, Dobie.
Look, Zelda, I don't want to hurt your feelings. For years, I've been telling you it's no use. Why don't we just start all over again and just be friends?
Dobie, there's 2 things we can be, and friends isn't one of them. We can be lovers, or we can be strangers. Can't you see that? Goodbye, Dobie.
Are you gonna eat your pizza?
Oh, no. Help yourself, my dear.
Mix the salad dressing, will you? I'm kind of in a hurry.
Of course, my sweet. This dressing, my dear, is a secret recipe known but by 3 people on Earth, all sworn to silence.
Yeah, I gotta get home.
Nonsense, my child. After dinner, we'll go dancing,
We'll go home.
canoeing,
Home.
bowling.
Home.
Look, Poppy, I don't understand. Why do you have to be home so early?
Does that answer your question?
A late date?
Mm-hmm. Nighty-night, Dopey.
Yeah, that's Dobie with a B.
Sorry, Roger. I tried to get rid of him sooner.
Late date. Oh, what a jerk I am.
Like true, good buddy.
I wonder how Dobie made out with that new girl last night.
I don't have to wonder. He got clobbered. That's how he made out.
That's right, Dad.
Oh, there you are. Well, what did I tell you, son?
You told me a man ought to play it cozy, play it safe, and you were right, Dad. Absolutely right. You're a very smart man.
You bet your boots I am, I am.
He is?
From now on, Dad, what you say goes. If you're kind enough to give me the benefit of your advice, well, I ought to have sense enough to take it.
What's the matter, dear?
Nothing.
Aren't you happy because Dobie is going to listen to your advice after all these years?
You want the truth?
I know the truth. You're scared stiff.
Winnie, I am paralyzed. The kid really threw me a curve.
But for all these years, you've been yelling that Dobie ought to listen to you.
Sure, because I knew he wouldn't. Winnie, it is very easy for parents to advise their children, and you know why? If it turns out that the kid is right and the parent is wrong, well, that's fine, because after all, the important thing is for the kid to be okay.
Yes, dear.
And if it turns out that the parent is right and the kid is wrong, you can always say...
I told you so.
Right.
Which is a mighty good feeling.
No, it certainly is. So when parents advise their children, no matter which way it turns out, the parent has to wind up a winner. Providing, of course, the kid don't take the advice.
But Dobie pulled a switch. He's going to listen to you.
No, that was a sneaky thing to do.
Which means that from now on, when you give advice, you're going to have to think before you speak.
No, what a terrible thing to do to a man.
Oh, don't worry, Herbert. It's not so bad. After all, you're not unintelligent.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Don't agree so.
All right. Well, dear, you're no Einstein, but you do have the boy's welfare at heart, and I'm sure that if you think hard enough, you'll be able to come up with the right advice for him.
When he was 5 years old, then I could give him the right advice. Don't play in traffic. Don't sit on a hot stove. But he is no longer 5 years old. He is a young man, and don't ever tell him I said so, but he's a heck of a lot smarter than I am about the things of his world anyway. Look, I'm just a plain ordinary man trying to scratch out a living in a corner grocery, and he's got the whole universe in his mind. Now he comes along and wants me to give him advice. Winnie, I am lost.
Don't despair, Herbert. Things are not as black as they seem.
Oh, like heck they ain't.
Believe me, they're not, because something wonderful is going to happen very soon.
Like what?
Like Dobie is going to forget all the promises that he made this morning and start ignoring you just like he always has.
You really think so, Winnie, honest?
I'm sure of it.
Oh, he's a good boy, that Dobie. You sure he's going to ignore me?
Positive?
Oh, he's a great comfort to his old dad. And you're a pretty good comfort to your old husband, too. Hey, come here.
Well, if it ain't old Zelda.
Well, 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 if it ain't old Maine.
Well, I fancy meeting you here.
Well, 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 must be mighty fancy. You only been tracking me for 3.5 hours.
Mind if I sit here?
No, go right ahead.
Well.
Well, well.
Gee, Zelda, you look like real pretty today.
Like, thanks.
I mean, your nose is so nice and shiny.
Stop, Maynard. You'll turn my head with praise.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, Zelda. If I turned your head, you keep running around bumping into things.
Good thinking.
Well.
Well, well, what?
Well, I'd like to ask you a hypodermical question.
That's hypothetical, and the answer's no.
Zelda, you can't dump Dobie. He needs you.
You should have thought of that earlier.
Well, let's put it this way. You need him. I mean, where's a chick like you going to find another guy? No offense.
No offense, Maynard. And the answer is, I don't know where I'm going to find another guy, or even if I'm going to find another guy. All I know is I got a little bit of pride left, and I intend to hang on to it.
But you can't go through life all alone, small girl.
Who says I can't?
Me, I just said, didn't you hear?
There's lots of other things besides love. I'll study hard. Maybe become a big scientist or doctor or missionary or something.
You thought this through? I mean, your head's made up?
Absolutely. So you can tell your friend Dobie... Never mind. I'll tell him myself. Dobie, I know you're hiding down there. Come on out. Come on.
Zelda, listen.
No, Dobie, you listen. I've got 2 words for you. The first one is good. Got that? The second one is bye. Put them all together, they spell...
Goodbye?
Goodbye.
Zelda, look, Zelda.
Well, cheer up, good buddy. You're always going to have me.
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
And as Robert Browning so lyrically puts it in Pippa Passes, the years at the spring, the days at the morn, mornings at 7, the hillsides dew pearled, the larks on the wing, the snails on the thorn, God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. Class, except for Dobie Gillis, dismissed. Mr. Krebs, what are you doing here?
I'm with Dobie.
You might as well talk, Mr. Harper. Maynard won't leave.
That's right, because I'm your good buddy.
Very well. Dobie, over the years, I've grown accustomed to your infinite variety of moods, but I must confess that I've never seen you in such a funk as the one you're in today. Now, is anything wrong?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. And it's all your fault, Mr. Pomfret. Dobie's whole life is wrecked on account of you.
Me? What did I do?
Telling him all that jazz about a man's reach should exceed his grasp. Shame on you, teaching junk like that to us poor, innocent, lovable, sweet kids.
That junk, Mr. Krebs, happens to be one of the most lofty thoughts in the entire language.
So how come you don't believe it?
But I do. I believe it with all my heart.
Can I speak freely, Mr. Pomfret? No holds barred.
Go ahead, Dobie. Speak freely.
All right. Mr. Pomfret, what right have you got to talk about a man's reach? No offense, but what have you accomplished? I mean, here you are, just a plain instructor in a little backwater college, teaching freshman English, piling up years and waiting for your pension. Sure, it's an important job, and sure, you're good at it, but is this the extent of your reach? Is this all you ever wanted out of life?
No, Dobie, it's not.
Then why aren't you trying to exceed your grasp? You said you wanted to be a writer. Well, why aren't you writing instead of playing it safe in this little college?
Because I know my limitations, Dobie.
And I know mine.
No, you don't. Don't ever let me hear you talk about limitations at your age. I want to show you something, Dobie. You know what this is?
No, sir.
This is a novel. I wrote it when I was exactly your age. I also wrote 8 other novels, equally heavy. Fortunately, I tore them up and threw them away. Should have torn this one up and thrown it away, too. It's terrible. But you see, at your age, Dobie, I thought that I was going to write the great American novel. I didn't think I was going to end up a teacher in a backwater college. Well, I found out that I couldn't write that novel. I found out that all I was good for was teaching. So I settled for that. And I'm darn glad I did, because at my age, there's no happiness unless you know your limitations. But at your age, Dobie, there are no limitations. You've got to reach for the stars, Dobie. You've got to reach. And if you fail, you've got to reach again. Later is a time to talk about limitations, much later. But now you're young and you're full of bright, shining hope. And nothing but the very best is good enough for you.
Mr. Pomfret, what I said, I'm sorry, honest.
Well, don't be sorry. Just forget it. But remember what I'm trying to tell you, Dobie. Whatever you want in life, you've got to reach for, whether it's a girl or a job or a way of living. You've got to dig in and try for it with everything you've got, because that's the only way you're going to get what you're after. And when you fail, well, you won't really fail, Dobie, because just the effort of trying is a wonderful and enriching experience.
Does that even go for a fellow like me, Mr. P?
You bet it does, Mr. Krebs. You've got to get out there and slug for the record album or that new set of bongos you want. And by George, if you do, you'll get it, because nothing will stand in your way.
Like, wow, even me.
Like reach, man. Reach.
Thanks, Mr. Pomfret. Right idea, Maynard, but the wrong chick. Hi, Zelda. Zelda?
No.
Look, Zelda, I know you're a great human being, and I'm not worthy of you, but just the same, I'm going after you until I get you back, because a man's reach should exceed his grasp.
It's no use, Dobie.
I don't care. I've got to try.
You mean you are going to chase me?
You bet.
There's a switch.
I'm going to court you with vigor and determination and all the skill at my command.
You mean you'll send me candy and flowers?
Orchids and chocolate creams.
And you'll open doors for me and help me across
and throw
streets?
my coat on mud puddles for you to walk across. Have I got a chance?
I don't know, Dobie. You can try.
Can I phone you?
If you like.
Tonight?
If you like.
Okay. Okay, I'll phone you tonight.
So long, Dobie.
Oh, Zelda, one more thing.
Yes?
Could you lend me a dime for the phone?